I just want to give somebody's daughter some clarity real quick from a man's perspective when it comes to dating in this generation. From what I observed from a man's point of view, these are some of the things I'm going to list off. First off, on this here prominent internet, we have the down bad, just super lame dudes that walk around spending life like it's just soft corn. Comment the most vulgar things or DM women the most vulgar things just because they only see them as a pretty face. That makes up a large portion of the internet, and even if they aren't on the internet, when you meet them, they treat you like you are a piece of meat. Those are usually the ones that make you feel like it's hopeless out here, like it's no good men, because men are so driven. Well, those type of men, those type of boys are driven by lust and only lust. Usually the ones that know exactly what to say, and it's not that it's way too good to be true. They just have real skill when it comes to it. They're skilled at that way more than they're skilled at life, because they put more focus into being a squirrel chasing a nut than actually being great and reaching their full potential in life. That's usually because they don't have any type of discipline or know how to retain their seed at all whatsoever. Then you have the nonchalant, heartbroken, cold-hearted type of dudes. The ones who got their heart broken by a girl they really invested all of their lover boy heart, all of their lover boy energy into, and now they're stuck on that. That heartbreak, that relationship, maybe even that situationship hit them and scarred them so hard that they become so emotionally detached, so emotionally distant, that they're just completely emotionally unavailable for the women that they do cross paths with. They're not necessarily the bad person. They just completely lost all hope. It's probably like 1% of hope in their heart that they can actually be in a happy, loving relationship. And those are the type of men that women are usually the most attracted to. The emotionally distant, emotionally avoidant men. Usually it's because you probably think, I can heal him. I see the potential in him. But if a woman from a past hurt him, it's nothing you can do to fix him unless he just decides to let the past go and heal. But some dudes get scarred so hard that they just never can fully connect to another woman. But at the same time, usually those are the dudes 20 years down the road, they end up crossing paths with a woman who completely understands them and actually heals them because God just love them like that. But in your 20s especially, those are the ones that's going to give you the most headache because you're going to be trying to talk to a rock. Then you have the dudes who are extremely intentional. They usually do have a lot of women that see them because they probably walk with integrity or they're disciplined or they are established in their life. Not necessarily just saying financially established, just mentally, they have a different level of maturity and they just ain't out here just giving all their energy to women. Those men observe what's going on in this generation between the two men that I just listed off and all of the women that are usually attracted to those type of men. And they usually keep to themselves. They usually don't have that much hope either for actually finding and aligning with a good woman. Usually they're a lot harder on themselves, and usually they do want to be in a good position with somebody. They don't just want to be willy-nilly. It has to make sense. A woman would see a man like that, a man that's established or has a good mental, a good mindset, carries himself very well, and they would expect him to come find them, to come pursue them. Because one of the biggest things in my comments when I complain about what's going on in this generation is they say, well, in the Bible it says he who finds a wife. I'm going to tell you this. You're 110% right. You are exactly right. It is he who finds a wife. But in this day and age, men have grown this knowledge and understanding that every beautiful woman on here that may even love God has an abundance of lames and down bads flooding their comments and their DMs. And usually the good women aren't sitting there scrolling through their DMs, just feeding off of the ego and feeding off of that attention. So the likeliness of that man even being acknowledged as a good man that has pure intentions and wants to treat them right or genuinely get to know them for who they are is very less likely, and they lose hope in that as well. So the motivation to reach out to you is not there as much as you would think. The whole time they could scroll past you, they could hear you, they could want to get to know you, they could walk past you, but the whole time they know how the game go. Like I said, there ain't no game for y'all to peep, but we understand how the game go now. Because like y'all said, it is he who finds a wife. You want to be pursued. You want to be chased after. You want a man to have that yearning for you, correct? A lot of men, especially intentional men, especially men that want to settle down with one woman and build a family one day, build a strong foundation, they don't see no hope in that now. They see it like it's pointless. The other thought process, especially one that I've had personally, I can tell you this. Me being a content creator, I've literally went to God and prayed to him and told him, you would have to literally present the woman to me first, Lord. Because nowadays, reaching out to a woman, DMing a woman first, or even making that your presence known is it don't hit like y'all think it does nowadays. All I ask that God bless me with is a woman that loves him, that we can be equally yoked, that he can be in between both of us, and that she lives a healthy lifestyle. Move healthy, eat healthy, and we good. Everything else I know God gonna add. If I came across a woman on social media and she aligned with those things, no matter how bad I want to reach out first, everything in me is just not gonna do it. Even if I do it, there is a strong chance that I'm just going to fall within the same pool of all those lame dudes that's just down bad flooding that amazing woman's DMs. And the whole time she could not even be paying any attention to those. But now she don't even want to open the DMs because it's just always a bunch of dudes saying disrespectful stuff. And no good woman wants to subject her mind to all of that because it can make you lose hope as a human being for society. I'm saying this from a man's point of view because men are so direct, especially when it comes to lustful intentions. They don't hide it. If you're trying to get something out of a woman, you don't hide it. You can even tell when they being sly or they just trying to be smooth. For men that have their DMs flooded by women, I can tell you this first and foremost. A lot of women are just sly and sneaky, especially when you acknowledge that you walk with God or you seek the Lord. You think they can just use God to get closer to you. Because of that, you have to guard your heart and be extremely mindful and discerning. So a lot of times I sit and I say, well, you know what? I could reach out to this woman. Wow, guys, she does seem amazing. She does seem like she has some great light behind the phone or whatever the case may be, even in real life. But then before I go initiate that contact, before I go initiate reaching out and making my presence known, I'm going to sit and I'm going to think like this. My future wife probably sitting on the other side thinking, you know what? My husband ain't just in every woman's DMs. My husband ain't just willy-nilly just all up in women's DMs. That's how society works. Now you have two people that probably could connect with each other, probably do have personality types that align with everything that God wants them to have for a person or everything that they pray for in a person. But now you have two sides assuming based off of all of the in-between chaos that's been going on in the pool. And because of that, it causes two good people to probably miss out on each other in the timing that they were meant to align. Yes, I do believe God will never allow you to miss out on your person. But we also have to acknowledge that we are living in a very prominent social media age. And because of that, it makes it a lot harder. And the more you acknowledge that, the better it will be. We have to stop fighting against what reality is and actually acknowledging it, embracing it, accepting it so we can take it to the Lord and ask God to help us navigate in this new here now generation. So yes, it is he who finds a wife. Yes, it is good for the man to pursue and make his presence known and be respectful and initiate. The likeliness of us actually doing that in this here now generation is very, very slim. The majority of people have poisoned the pool so much, poisoned the minds and perspective and expectations of people on both sides so much that it's healthier mentally, spiritually, and physically to stay out the way and just hope that God puts that person right in front of you. No, that's not true. If a man DM me with some respect and sparked up a conversation, I would respond. I can tell you right now, the few times that I initiated, that I slid in the DM first, I put real thought into it. Like went to God, prayed, wrote it down, thought about it before I even just slid in a DM. And even that DM just ended up sitting there, lost in the pool of the rest of them. It didn't make me lose hope or nothing, but it's a reality check because it's a reality for a lot of men. So if it feels like, dang, why do I have to initiate? Why do I have to reach out to the man first? Because a lot of men who genuinely have good intentions don't want to waste their energy putting it into somebody or putting it into somebody's page when they ain't even going to acknowledge it. Because for most men, if you don't fit a certain archetype, you're probably not going to get acknowledged. And the ones that do get acknowledged are always the ones who always fumble it for everybody, always ruin it for everybody, always end up saying something weird or betraying somebody's trust by lying and putting on a fake facade and not being authentic. And that's what's really going on in this generation on both sides. Everybody's faking it. Everybody's putting on these masks when they first meet a person. And then a month later, 2-3 months later, they reveal who they truly are. And it just taints the pool even more. Don't lose hope. There is a person out there for you. There's a person out there for me. I'm not losing hope. I'm confident God gonna bless me with my person. But I know how to articulate in a way that is relatable to a lot of people. And it's time that we acknowledge what's really going on.